All right, let's dive into something really cool today. We're going to talk about a piece of security tech that's tackling one of the biggest, well, headaches of our digital lives. I mean, really think about it for a second. Every single time you log into an app, sign up for a new service, or buy something online, there's this moment of trust, right? How does that company on the other end really know it's you? Like, really you, and not some clever fake? That's the huge question we're unpacking today. Okay, first up, the digital imposter problem. And trust me, this isn't just some minor tech glitch. We're talking about a full-on battle against some seriously sophisticated digital fraud. The main villain in this story? It's something called a presentation attack. So let's break this down. It's super simple, really. On one hand, you've got a real person, a living, breathing human being. And on the other, you have what's called a presentation attack. Now, this is just a fancy way of saying someone is trying to fool the system. They might be holding up a photo, playing a video of you on their phone, or even, and this is kind of creepy, using a super realistic mask. And believe me, these tricks are getting way, way too good. And the fallout from one of these attacks? It's huge. We're talking about massive financial losses, getting into big trouble with regulations, and totally losing the trust of your customers. It's a serious problem, and it needs a seriously smart solution. So, if the bad guys are using smart fakes, how do you fight back? Well, you have to be even smarter. And that brings us to the hero of our story today, Face Liveness. This is the game changer. Okay, so what is AWS Rekognition Face Liveness? Put simply, it's an AI that answers one and only one super important question. Is the person in front of this camera physically present? Is it a real 3D person right here, right now? See, it's not just about recognizing a face, it's about proving that face is actually alive. All right, now for the really cool part. Let's get into how this thing actually works, because it's pretty ingenious and the reason it's so hard to fool. Okay, here's the flow. First, you just line your face up with an oval on the screen. Easy enough. Then, this is the clever bit. The screen flashes a random series of colors right at your face. Now, this is where the AI gets to work. It's analyzing everything in milliseconds, how that colored light reflects off your skin compared to how it would bounce off a flat photo or a screen. It's looking for 3D depth, and it's even picking up on the tiny little micro movements we all make without thinking. And here's the kicker. Because that color sequence is totally random every single time, trying to use a pre-recorded video is completely useless. Game over for the fraudsters. So what do you get at the end of all that? A confidence score. It's just a number from 0 to 100, but that simple number tells a business exactly what it needs to know, the likelihood that they're dealing with a real live person. No guesswork, just data. Now, look, this tech is amazing all by itself, but where it becomes a true powerhouse is when you connect it to the tools that businesses are already using day in and day out. So let's talk about how AWS and Salesforce unite to form a kind of dynamic duo. Think of all the moving parts here like a well-oiled verification team. You've got Salesforce, which is kind of like the team captain. It starts the whole process. Then there's API Gateway, that's your security guard, or the bouncer, making sure only the right requests get in. AWS Lambda is the serverless brains of the operation, setting everything up in a flash. Of course, AWS Rekognition is the star detective, the one actually doing the liveness analysis. And finally, you have S3, which is like a super secure vault for storing the evidence for later. Everybody has a job, and they do it perfectly. And the best part? For the actual user, this whole thing is unbelievably smooth. An employee just clicks a Start Verification button in Salesforce, the customer gets a simple pop-up, they do the quick 10-second video with the colors, and boom! The results, a clear pass or fail, and that confidence score are instantly zapped right back into their Salesforce record. It is so fast and so simple, it's brilliant. And this is the real takeaway here. Because it's integrated right into Salesforce, Face Liveness becomes just another part of the normal workflow. It's not some awkward, separate task you have to send people to. It's just there, seamless. Okay, so theory is one thing, but what about the business impact? What does this actually do for a company? Well, let's look at the results, because honestly, the numbers are pretty mind-blowing. First up, a 95% reduction in account takeover fraud. Let that sink in. 95%. That's when a bad guy gets into a real customer's account. This tech basically slams the door shut on one of the biggest and most destructive forms of fraud out there. And it's not just about protecting existing accounts. It's about cleaning up the front door. We're talking about an 87% drop in fake accounts being created in the first place. You're stopping the fraudsters before they even get inside.
And check this out, the average time for a successful check, just 10 seconds. 10. This is the kicker, right? You get this unbelievable bank-grade security, but you don't have to make your customers jump through a bunch of hoops. It's fast, it's easy, it's the best of both worlds.
And the value just keeps on coming. You're talking about ironclad compliance with all those know your customer rules. You're building massive trust with your users. You're saving your own team from mind-numbing manual reviews, and you can scale this thing to handle millions of verifications without breaking a sweat. It's just a win-win-win. So when you put it all together, you realize the future of identity isn't just about matching a face to a picture anymore. It's about proving without a doubt that the person is real and live. And by bringing AWS and Salesforce together, this isn't science fiction, it's here, right now. Which really leaves just one question. When digital fraud takes just seconds to pull off, can your business really afford to wait?